Welcome to the American Grown Podcast, hosted by Austin Sullivan. The American Grown Podcast will focus on people from different walks of life and their journey to where they are now. Now, turn up your volume and settle in for a great episode.
Hi, I'm Austin Sullivan. This is the American Grown Podcast, recorded inside the Colortech Creative Solutions studios. Today, we have Bruce Weaver Jr. He is a personal trainer and owner of BC Fitness. Bruce, welcome to episode 22 of the American Grown Podcast.
I appreciate it, Austin. It's great to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad you could make it in. In episode 5, John Heisey from Heisey's Diner had actually mentioned having you on the show and kind of introduced us, I think via text or something.
Yeah. John's a great guy. He's been in the gym quite a while now. It might be going on 2 years.
Oh, so he's a member?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, he told me about you too. So, and like I said, I think it was a text, and then I emailed you, and
yeah,
here we are.
Exactly. Yeah, here we go. So tell me about yourself, Bruce. I don't know. Like I said, just meeting you here, and we talked before the episode recording. But tell me about yourself. Let's start from the beginning.
Short version.
Yeah.
Well, long time runner. I mean, that was my life for a long time. But I mean, I played multiple sports too. But being the guy that was 100 pounds and graduating high school, so
yeah,
imagine how small I was before that. Picked on a lot, and a lot of things that led up to where I am now. But family, man first. My wife and kids always come first. I mean, everybody's known that. I will shut down the gym if I have to go home if my family needs me.
There you go. Yeah,
that's nothing replaces that. I can open up another day,
mm-hmm.
right? But family man, love helping people. Just try to be a well-rounded guy. Get into a lot of things, as we'll talk about it, obviously. Just love helping people and being the best person I can every day for whoever comes across my life.
Where did you grow up? Are you a local from Lebanon County?
Yeah, so grew up in Jonestown, up on Bunker Hill for up until about 4th, 5th grade, I think it was. And we lived with my great-grandma for a little while in her basement. And we moved into Fredericksburg, where my mom actually is currently being moved into our house now. She's moving out of the house I grew up in because she needs to be with us, and the house is just too much. But I grew up in Fredericksburg from there on, and then met my wife, and we moved around for a little while. Now we're in Myerstown.
Went from chicken country up there with Bell and Evans, and the Eagle Hotel.
Being the runner, it was a smell you had to get used to running around.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, some of the best chicken. I'll throw that out there. Bell and Evans has some of the best chicken. And then to Myerstown, beautiful scenery. You got the farms.
Yeah, and we live out in the country, and we did that for a reason. We're blessed to have about 7 acres and have our own patch of woods. And we just the other day had some deer roaming around our yard. So we get a lot, but it's nice to be out in that open and have that land to run around with the kids and do all the activities that I've always been involved in. We can hit golf balls in the yard,
Perfect.
do a lot of things. So.
Yeah. And you have 4 kids.
Yes. All with the same woman, and proud to say that. You don't hear that too much nowadays. We met in 1998, and here we are, what is it, 24 years later?
Yeah. Oh, that's fabulous. Seriously.
4 kids.
That's awesome. You had mentioned, while growing up you were a runner. Mm-hmm. Did you do cross country, track and field?
I did both. On top of, I bowled also on the school team. Wasn't quite the bowler I turned out to be later in life, but I was still solid then. But running was still more of my life. Cross country, of course, starts the school season. I would do that. I was on the team actually running with the high school I believe it was 6th grade. The high school coach spotted
6th grade?
Me. Yeah, my brother played football, and we were at his midget football practice at the high school. And I was kind of bored sitting there watching his practice, so I told my parents I was going to go down to the track and just start running.
Yeah.
And I went down, and I'm just I didn't know better. I'm 6th grade.
Right.
I'm just down there running away. I think 24 laps later, this guy comes up to me, and whose last name happens to be Weaver also. So he was Coach
Small
Weaver.
World. Yeah, that's perfect.
No relation.
Okay.
But, comes up to me and asked me if my parents were around. I was like, yeah, they're up there watching my brother. So he walks up. Small world. He knew my mom. He coached her. Like when he was younger, he coached her at the end of her high school career. So he's like, hey, can we get this kid to the school? Like, he can start practicing with this high school already. So my parents end up signing a note, which, this wouldn't happen nowadays. They ended up signing a note because they picked up and dropped off the elementary kids first, and then the buses went to the high school to take them home.
Right, right.
So I got permission to stay on the bus as a ride because my parents couldn't take me. So I ended up staying on the bus, and I would ride up to the high school. In 6th grade, I was already running with the varsity team because they didn't have a junior high. There wasn't enough people for junior high. I actually could have been, in cross country, your top 5 score for you. I actually could have been the 5th guy in 6th grade.
What? Competing at the high school level?
Yeah.
Wow.
But it also led to some problems because, of course, then these older guys, these seniors and juniors didn't like me then because here's this little 6th grader who could beat them.
Kick our ass. Yeah, let's be honest.
Yeah. And so, of course, I got tormented a little bit by them, like from taking my shoes and throwing them up over the basketball hoop. And
jeez.
Yeah, I went through a lot of stuff.
They're a little jealous. So cross country, I had some friends that ran it. It's a different mindset, when you're running. And for when you're in 6th grade, you probably had a lot of energy. But what was it for you when you're out there running? Like, what got you through it?
It was fun.
It was fun. All right.
I mean,
to each his own.
Yeah. Well, hence where I'm at. Like, it's a different mindset I'll say when you're an elite athlete, you have to have a different mindset. You can't go to the places you got to go unless you have that mindset.
True. Oh, yeah.
And to run the way I ran, so again, I went through the cross country season, and that would end. Well, then Junior Olympics, I learned about nationals and Junior Olympics. So the cross country season would end. Well, then I'm in winter track and bowling, but then I was also at the same time doing cross nationals yet. So I'm traveling the country to go to that.
So tell me a little bit about that, because the Junior Olympics I know a little bit about, but what did that all entail? And what grade now? 6th grade?
Well, I think that was the first time I did it because, again, Coach Weaver seen my abilities and he told my parents about it, and he's like, hey, we could go. Again, this is 6th grade, a long time ago.
Right,
the first round, it was down near Philly somewhere.
Okay.
But anyway, he said, we'll go to this thing. If he does well enough, he could go to the next level. And then blah, blah, blah. I think there was that level. And then I think there might have been another stage. And then top 5 from each state went to nationals. So they take me to this race. And my parents were like, yeah, whatever.
Right.
It'd be best for my mom to tell the story because it's funny to hear it because I didn't know. I'm just running, right? But to see it and hear from her perspective, she's like, yeah, we took him there. We're thinking that, whatever. So anyway, we start the race and off we go. And of course they can't be out. They can't see the whole race. But my mom was saying like they're standing wherever they were for us to come around the corner to the finish line. And she said she'll never forget standing there and the first person to come around the corner was me.
What?
And they were like, oh.
No way.
I guess we got to prepare to
built different.
Send him to this national.
Yeah.
They didn't expect. Who knew? I just went out and ran.
Right. Yeah. Did your thing. So you win that race.
Yeah.
In the Philly area.
Yeah. And then I don't remember where it went next, but then my mom to this day says, well, we can't say no to him. Like we got to come up with the money to send him on this trip to, and I forget where the next round was, but yeah. So from that point on, 6, 7, 8, 9, like all the way till I was a senior, I kept going to these races. I think the best I did at nationals at one point, I was 50th in the country for cross country.
In the whole country, that's crazy.
Yeah. And then like I said, then I would go into winter track and bowling. I was doing that. Well, then springtime rolls around and go through track. Kind of same thing. And this is where I kind of learned through the years that the athlete I was, learning myself because, kids, other teammates would get ineligible through grades or whatever and stuff. And coach would come up to me and say, hey, I know you just finished this race. I need you to come back in this one because so-and-so's not on like here. We need these points.
Right.
Because of how the track scores worked. He had me throw a javelin. I pole vaulted.
Yeah.
I long, like whatever he needed. He'd come up to me and like,
you were the guy.
Hey, I need you to do this. I need you to do that. So I didn't get to do track. I always wonder what I could have done if I got to focus on an event, like the mile and a half mile, like where I felt I was best at. But I'm a team player. So I'm going to do what needs to be done for the team to win. And which leads to track. I ended up going to nationals for decathlon.
Whoa. Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
And if my memory serves me right, I think I finished 12th in the country for that.
Wow.
And a guy at my size, again, at that time, at 100 pounds, like to throw a javelin, throw a shot put, I was doing good for my size, but like the other athletes at that time were guys like I am now, like bigger, more
muscle. Like a little more muscle on them.
So, I did what I did, but
that's awesome though. It's 12th in the country. You're doing all these sports, and you had mentioned also you had played Little League Baseball, and there was an incident there or something?
Yeah. Last year of that. I mean, I'm left-handed pitcher.
Okay.
So I love baseball. That actually was probably the first love I had. Like, I honestly thought about pitching pro, like going all the way to the major leagues.
Whoa, yeah.
Is where I was thinking. And I'm like 11, 12. Up at Knoebels Grove, they had a pitching thing at the time with the radar gun. So, like, I loved playing that because I knew I was throwing roughly 70, 75 miles an hour. Didn't do a lot of other things. I wasn't big into throwing curves or sinkers. Like, I'd hold the ball different because I could get movement on it being left-handed. I had natural movement. But in Little League, at that point in time, when you can throw that fast, you're throwing it by most kids. Now, at that time, bats were aluminum yet. So, anyways, my last year at Little League Baseball, we're playing at Fredericksburg, where the pool is. Now, the field is facing the opposite direction now. They've rebuilt it since. I was on the Fredericksburg Dodgers. We were playing the Pirates. And I can't remember the kid's name batting. I remember a lot of stuff, but you'll understand why I don't remember. But anyway, throwing another, I think I had a shutout going again. 4th inning, I believe. I remember throwing the ball, hearing the bat, and then waking up to everybody standing over me crying, which their tears turned from sad to happy because from what I gather from, because I can only go off of what people told me.
Yeah.
They were pretty certain I was dead. I took a line drive.
No.
To the head. Like, this is all fake.
Oh, wow. I didn't know.
I
would never know.
I've had 5, maybe more root canals. I've had a lot of work done.
So you threw.
I remember throwing the ball, hearing it. They said I tried to catch it.
But you don't remember.
I cannot remember.
And it hit right to the.
Yeah.
Right to
Like,
the
it almost
right
pushed my nose in my brain.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And they thought you're done.
Yeah. I mean, my teeth were laying on the ground.
Holy shit.
Like, yeah.
Whoa.
I remember sitting up, like, so, and looking at everybody and, like, first thought was, like, why am I on the ground?
Yeah, right.
I sit up, and then I'm looking around, and I'm covered in blood. The mound's covered in blood. I see my teeth. And well, then the body starts to wake up. The pain starts to set in, and I'm like,
oh, man.
What the hell happened? And then I realized what happened, and yeah, lots of work later, and I had to wear like scarves over my face because the air, like, it hurt, like the cold air hurt. And I was told I had to stop running because I couldn't run because of the damage done.
Jeez.
Yeah, a lot of work.
Holy
work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would never known. Man, you're a tough kid. Like, holy shit.
Well, and we're gonna dwell into this later, but where I'm at now and all the things I've gone through, I realized that, like, it wasn't my time, right?
Yeah.
There was a bigger mission for me, even to the point of, like, when I was born, I wasn't supposed to walk.
Wow, I didn't know this.
Yeah. I'd have to talk to my mom more for a full story, but
okay.
I believe fluid on my spine and stuff, and they told him I may not walk, and she told me that, when I started running all that, she took me back to the docs that said this, and they were like, what?
Yeah, they were flabbergasted.
I guess I've always been defying the odds.
That sounds like your story so far, which is amazing. I mean, holy cow. So you survived Little League, thank God. Then you go into cross country, middle school, high school, doing track. Throughout your journey in high school sports, was there any mentors, any teachers or anybody that you want to shout out that you think helped mold you and who you are today?
Well, of course, I said the coach that spotted me, Mr. Weaver. Everybody knows him as Weave. I mean, some people called him Mr. Weaver. Most of us called him Weave. This guy I was with him all the time. I mean, from cross country, he's coaching me. Nationals, he's taking me. Like, I traveled with him, like, everywhere to go compete in these national meets. Winter track, I'm with him. Springtime rolls around, track, I'm with him. He was my English teacher. Yeah. Thank God, because my worst subject was English. And having him help me get through it was a big piece. I mean, he has his own story. I mean, he's a legend in the area. Everybody knows who he is.
And this was Northern Lebanon High School.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
I don't know if he still helps too much, but I mean, even after he retired and stopped teaching all that, he was still helping. Like, he'd come back to help with the pole vault. He helps at LVC with the pole vault. Like, he's done a lot. I mean, he's always welcomed me at his house. He has a pool. He's like, anytime you want, you come over. Like, we're still in touch. I haven't seen him for a little bit, but yeah. He was, I mean,
that's awesome.
I was around him more than anybody.
Probably as you were traveling with him, to all these events and things, with the last names being Weaver, people are probably like,
oh, I got stories on that too.
Yeah, is that your family? Like, is that your dad?
Yeah.
Is that your son?
Without saying a whole lot and getting too deep into it, I mean, it was a lot of accusations, like dumb stuff, like that he was my dad and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, no. And, I mean, I believe, if I remember right, I think somebody even started the rumor that like my mom had an affair with him, and he's my dad. Like, it was
just really
bad.
whack stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's even to the point like, to this day, and even at the 100-pound runner, people accusing me of taking steroids. Like, that was the only way I could. Look, I'm always the smallest guy in the room.
Yeah,
I always was. But there again, mentally, you have to embrace it and don't let it be an excuse.
It's a mindset.
Yeah, it's a
Definitely.
mindset. It's not my fault I wasn't born to be 6 foot and 200 pounds.
Whatever it is. Yeah. But isn't it crazy how some people in society or society in general will say, "Oh, it's not natural the way he or she is performing, so they must be on something, or they must be taking something to give them the edge."
And look, I get it, because there's a lot out there that do, and don't want to own up to that. But I don't like to jump to any conclusions until I get to know a person and all that. But especially because I went through it so much, and still to this day, I mean, people look at me at 45 and see what I'm doing, and they're like, "You have to be taking something, because no 45-year-old can, like, you should be slowing down now." Why?
Who says?
Right. Who says? Because society put that in your head.
Right.
I'm here to say no.
Yeah. Well, when I first met you, when you walked into the studio here and we started talking, I'm like, okay, he must be maybe 34, 35. But then the more you think about it, it's like, it's just a number, 40, 50, if you take care of your body. And
it's all up to you. I mean, what you do. I mean, I get it. Like, teach your own. Like, my job, I chose this profession, so it's for me to lead by example. I can't say anything to you if I'm not doing it, right?
Yeah.
Again, your choice at the end of the day, just like I tell my clients. I can show you a bunch of things. It's up to you to do what you want. I'm going to encourage you otherwise, and I'll listen to you complain or talk to me about things that are bothering you. But if you're not willing to make changes and do something differently to change where you're at and feel better or whatever it is, I don't want to hear it. Like, don't keep whining about it if you're not willing to work and change it.
Make it better. Yeah, and I think that's what makes, this country so great, is that, if you want to live this kind of lifestyle, you can go do that. You want to, video games or whatever, junk food, this and that, and if you want to be healthy and chase after your dreams, you can really do whatever you want, and live however you'd like. What was your path like after high school?
Well, again, being who I am now and where we're at, never thought about this. I didn't touch weights, even in school. Like, I wasn't lifting. I didn't, like, the weight room was there. Did I go into it occasionally? Yeah. In gym class, we had weight training for a little bit. Never interested me, like, because really in the 90s, like, runners, especially as a cross-country distance guy, don't bulk up. Like, you can't run fast without, being too big and all this stuff, which now we know is kind of all garbage, but it was what it was at the time. Again, tormented, picked on. I was an easy target. I was a little guy. And there was another part to what kept me running, because for those trying to bully me, if they couldn't catch me, they couldn't bully me, right?
There you go.
So running became a big part for many reasons, to get away from the people that were pushing me around and wanting to do stuff to me. So I come out of high school. Again, bowling was in my life. I wanted to keep doing stuff with that, but wasn't pursuing. I wasn't thinking about bowling professionally or running professionally. But I come out of high school and just get the average 9-to-5 job. I worked at Weber's Sawmill.
Okay.
I did dishes at Farmer's Wife for a while. I didn't know. And relationships were not happening. Like, I was always I was the nice guy that was the fallback. 1998, got kind of sick of being ditched on and left for the beach. Took unemployment, went to the beach for like 4 months just to get away. Yeah. Because I was like, I don't know where I'm going. Go down there. Person that was a friend of mine at the time, his name was Kerry, but spelled Kerry. my now wife, Carrie, Carrie.
Okay.
And honey, I'm going to make this shout out because I know you like this reference. It has nothing to do with the horror movie.
No. Okay.
It has.
Yeah.
It has to do with Little House on the Prairie.
Oh.
The daughter,
Yeah.
little girl Carrie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
More that reference, but between her and me, I think it's more towards the horror movie.
Oh man, hope she doesn't listen.
Oh, she's gonna hear this.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
She'll love. Yeah, but here, okay. So funny part about this, our birthdays. She's November 1st. I'm November 2nd.
What?
If you look at the right calendar, this is messed up because I think they got it backwards.
Yeah.
Her birthday's All Saints Day. Mine is Day of the Dead.
No way. What are the odds of that? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so she'll get a chuckle out of that.
Yeah. So, you'd mentioned, right. So, yep.
So anyway,
Yeah.
so I go down to the beach to get away, and
Yep.
he's with me, and we're on the beach playing pickup volleyball games, all this stuff, and we had been there for a while. It's getting late. We had to drive back to the campground, so I yell for him.
Mm-hmm.
And I yell, Carrie.
No.
She's behind me on another court. Answers me. I don't fully turn around and look. I just look over her shoulder. I'm sorry, I'm not talking to you. I yell for him again.
Yeah.
She, what? I'm like, turn around and nicely say, sorry, I'm not talking to you. Once I seen her and her volleyball body.
Yeah. I'm talking to you.
We
now.
were talking.
Yeah.
You
Wow.
know, walk on the beach an hour later, it was like we knew each other.
Just
Yeah, this is the storybook, romance that you just don't think happens, right?
Yeah.
I went down there to get away because I was tired of getting hurt. I was not there to meet somebody.
Yeah.
I was there to play
That's the last
volleyball.
thing on your mind.
Yeah, I was no intention whatsoever. She ruined my life.
Carrie, he doesn't mean any of this. He's up, no.
She,
Yeah.
no, and we talked, but then I learned she's from Pittsburgh. She's 3 years younger than me. She's in her senior year of high school. Yeah, whatever. Okay, we'll hang out and talk, and this is nice, right? We talked for a while. I said, I go back to the campground. She's there with her mom in a beach house, and I go back, and I had been I met somebody at this campground. We were chit-chatting a little bit too, but I couldn't get her off my mind. I'm like, this sucks. She's from Pittsburgh. I go back, we hang the next day and all this, and exchange addresses, phone numbers. She's leaving to go home. I'm still down for a couple of days. She leaves, and I'm just like, I can't stop thinking about this woman.
Right.
And what are the odds? Like, I can't make it work with somebody where I live. How's this going to work when she's from Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
I get home, and my mom's like, hey, you got a letter in the mail from this Kari Care? I don't know. I'm like, what? She wrote me?
Holy cow. Okay.
I'm figuring I'm just never going to be heard of again.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
I rip this thing open. It's 10 pages long.
Whoa.
Telling me her life and her parents were divorced and just
Yeah.
gives me more and just all this stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Wow. So she felt it too. The spark,
Obviously.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I write back. She writes me. After writing so long, then we, unlike nowadays, we start calling each other through a phone hooked to the wall.
What's that? Right. What's that?
And of course the first kind of big cell phones with the antenna sticking out and the big flip, it was like this long.
Like a brick. Yeah.
We talk, and then we're still writing and calling, and I think it was, so that's August of 1998. And I believe it was October she asked me to come out and see her, and I was like, what do I got to lose? It doesn't work around here. If this doesn't work, at least she's on the other side of the state. Yeah. And I don't have to see her again.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, that was where my mind was.
Well,
but I didn't think that was really going to happen, but whatever.
Yeah.
So, but she told me, like, her mom doesn't, obviously they don't know me. So she's like, you can't stay, you can come out. So I get up early on a Saturday morning, like 6 a.m. I hit the road. And so I'm in Pittsburgh by 10.
Yeah.
Hang the whole day. We chit chat and all that. And I'll say probably 5, 6 o'clock, I head home, and she messages or calls me and tells me, like, mom's cool with me. And from that point on, I think almost every weekend I went to Pittsburgh unless the weather or something else was going on. I was pretty much in Pittsburgh every weekend. I got a new job. Friday I'd pack a bag, take it with me as soon as I got off work. I hit the road, so I was in Pittsburgh by 9-10 p.m.
Wow.
And I'd spend the weekends in Pittsburgh. That's 1998 through 99. our life moved pretty quickly. We were both in some rough places in our life, and it was like we needed each other. We had our first son December of '99. I mean, our life moved pretty quickly. A lot of people looked at that like bad, but it is what it is. It was our life, and we needed him too. Like for both of us, having that child was another key piece for us. Like he kept us focused, and
because it brings you together as a team, as a family, makes you closer.
Yep, helped us get through a lot of stuff we were going through.
Yeah.
So,
and all because you decided to take a break from.
A break.
Yeah.
I had no intentions, but it's funny if you haven't picked up on it by now. Bruce and Carrie, BC.
Okay. I was gonna ask. That's one of the questions I have on my list. I'm like, where's BC coming in? DC Fitness.
The biggest question people ask. What's the BC?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, let's because I want to touch on this.
Yeah.
That you were, because you sent this in the form to fill out to be on the podcast. A PBA. So I knew it was something with bowling, but I had to look up what PBA stood for. Professional Bowlers Association. So.
Yes.
Tell me about that. How do you even reach that status as a bowler? And what was that experience like?
So we're fast forwarding here a little bit. So it's, 2007. Well, 2000, it was 2000. I get a job at Ingram Micro over in Lickdale, Jonestown. And we only have the oldest son at the time yet.
Okay.
Well, he was our only child at the time. So I'm working at this warehouse for all these years and going through the rough things we were going through in life. And I just hate this job.
Yeah.
I'm going to do what I got to do to take care of my family, but just not figuring things out. Like at this point in time, I had started working out a little bit in my garage, but nothing serious. It was some weights just to take care of myself to help handle this physical job a little bit more, but I wasn't thinking about bodybuilding, powerlifting, and nothing. It was just to work out and stay in shape. Hate this job. And like I said, things were going on in our life. And I come home one day and told her, I don't know what I'm doing. I'll do this to take care of us, but I'm more than this. I was getting turned down for promotions at this job. I bust my butt. I got, at that point, 2007, I'd probably been turned down for 6-7 promotions already.
Really?
And I'm just it was given to the people that were there longer or came out of college and had a degree. But guess what?
Yeah.
They'd given these people these jobs and then have me train them.
I was going to say probably
because they didn't know what I knew in the warehouse.
Right.
So I come home and I tell her, I got to go work out. I need to clear my head. No, I'm sorry. I'm fast forwarding too much. I got too many things.
You're good. I threw you off when I
threw
out the bowling
no,
questions.
I know.
So take your time, however you want to go. Yeah.
I tell her about bowling. Because I'd go occasionally. We'd take the kids and go bowling. I was in some leagues occasionally, but anyway, I get back in leagues and I learned that you had to sustain a 225 average in a house league for 2 years straight. Then you can apply for your card.
Whoa.
So 225s, it's not an easy task to sustain that, even in a house shot. So I tell her this, and I was like, look, I know I can do this. I love bowling. So 2007, that mission starts, and I sustained that for 2 years. In 2009, get my card, and there was a Cedar Lanes is no longer here in Lebanon, unfortunately, but there was a tournament there. It was a summer tournament, so it's a smaller gig, but small steps. I'm not just like this, with the gym. Baby steps, get your feet wet and go from there.
Yep.
So I enter this tournament. I have it hung on the side of my fridge yet because people don't believe me.
Yeah.
There was 110 guys. I finished 60th my first try.
That's not bad.
Yeah, no. And you don't realize how close it really was to being more than what it turned out to be. But Friday was a practice day. You go in and you're moving around lanes because the way the pro thing works is you move lanes every 2 games.
Okay.
At least that's how it was at the time. It could have changed since then. But so Friday we're practicing. But I walk in to the bowling alley, and the first thing I notice is 4 guys I've watched bowl on TV, guys that I look up to, have won pro tournaments, televised tournaments. I'm like,
the real deal. Right.
Yeah. But I quickly, I'm like, hey, they're just another person like you.
Just a human, yeah.
But I purposely went down on the lanes with them to practice, to show myself, be next to them, break the nerves and all that stuff.
Smart. Yeah. Yep.
So we're practicing, and I get on the lanes with a gentleman named Ryan Schaefer, and we have autographed pictures now. He autographed for my 2 boys.
Yeah.
And I'm bowling with him, and we're practicing. And he pulls me aside and tells me, like, hey, he's like, don't know you, your first time, whatever. We have this whole conversation. And he tells me he likes how I keep things simple. He likes my form, all that stuff, and signs these pictures for my kids. And it was just like, it really helped me calm down even more.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's practice day. Saturday, you bowl 8 games across 8 lanes. So every 2 games, you move a pair of lanes. People don't understand how hard that is, because you're not going to move to lanes that other people threw on and move the oil.
I see.
People don't understand the oil patterns that.
No, I didn't know.
I don't have them all memorized, but like there's cheetah, chameleon, scorpion, shark. Like there's
what?
Yeah, people don't understand. Look them up. Like there's patterns that they put. It's not like just going open bowling or bowling in your regular buddy house league.
Yeah,
it's different.
So what are the patterns? How do they affect?
Well, the length of the oil, where the oil's heavier, the shape. Like you have to see it to understand it.
Yeah.
Because people always ask, why do you have 5 balls? Why do you have 6 balls? Why do people carry this luggage full of bowling balls?
Right.
Well, because that shot is different all the time. It changes. You may need to change balls. Certain balls. You can drill your bowling ball certain ways that it rolls longer before it hooks.
Yeah.
You can get it to bite sooner. Like, there's so much more to it. People don't understand.
Throwing a rock, throwing a ball down the lane.
Everybody's just throw it hard and knock them over. Like, it's not that simple.
Put a little spin on it.
It's not that simple.
Well, I didn't know that. Okay.
So you bowl these 8 games, and then the top 15 moved on to Sunday for the step ladder final. Like I said, I finished 60th, but across those 8 games, I needed 1 more spare each game, and I would have finished high enough to make money.
Whoa. 1 more spare each game.
Yeah, which is so little.
So close. I was going to say,
People see the finish, and they see I was 100 pins from that.
Right.
But 100 pins, a spare is 10 points. You know, if you don't understand scoring for bowling, a spare is 10. Like, so across 8 games, I needed 1 more spare each game.
Wow. You're right there.
Yeah.
Like, you're right there.
Yeah. And like I said, it's hung on the side of my fridge as a reminder how well I did. And that, like I said, like I told you before we were on, recording here, my wife knows I'm not done with bowling.
Yeah.
What that means, I don't know. Maybe I own a bowling alley at some point and run a bowling alley. I don't know.
Lebanon needs one.
But I've contacted the East Regional manager and talked to him. It's like, do I have to go through the 2-year process again to re-earn
good
status?
Question. Right, yeah.
He told me, no, you still have your status. You'd have to pay your fees to get back in, but you're limited to what you can do unless you would win or, do good enough. Then you can do more.
Yeah.
So I still have my pro status.
Oh, that's awesome.
Now, another thing to touch on with that bowling was, as fast as that all, because the bowling thing leads to the gym thing.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, tie right in.
So 2009, I bowled this tournament. But at the same time, we were figuring out, at the time, our youngest son, Cole, was very low-functioning autistic. I couldn't leave and try and pursue bowling and do all this and leave my wife do all this on her own. So as fast as I get there, I walk away.
It's got to be tough.
It was, again, no regrets.
Yeah,
my family first.
Right, you said.
But it was a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah.
Because now I'm back in, accepting, I'm in this warehouse until whatever. So that tournament, I believe, it was either June or July in 2009. I think it was August. I come home from work again, just telling her again how frustrated I am. I got to go downstairs and work out.
Right.
This bowling's done right now. I don't know what's going on. Again, I will do this warehouse thing as long as I have to take care of us, because it is providing for us, but this sucks. I go down in my basement to walk over to my rack of weights, and it was just a surreal moment. I wish everybody who believes in God, really is faithful, would have these moments.
Yeah.
This vision. I go down my steps, and I take a turn towards my rack, and I'm like, huh. I just have this vision. I kid you not. The place I'm in now, I didn't know where it was.
Yeah.
I didn't see any of the machines in it. It was this empty building, but I'm in this. I knew it was a gym. And everything goes through my head. I run, I bowl, I golf, I played volleyball, I played baseball, I shoot basketball.
You're an athlete.
I've done all this stuff. Like I like helping people, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay, all right. This is probably all of 2 minutes. In reality, it seemed like you're standing there forever.
Yeah.
I go back up to my wife and she's like, you done? I was like, no, but what about me running a gym and being a trainer? She didn't hesitate. She's like, yeah.
Yeah.
How did we not figure this out before? I'm like, whatever. We're here now.
Yeah. Yep.
So summer, I'm bowling, walk away. August, I'm signing up for online classes because I got to keep working. I got a family.
Right.
I find the schooling online. August of 2009, start doing the schooling. By August 2010, I start Bruce's personal training in my basement with coworkers to get my feet wet.
Yeah.
December of 2011, we start BC Fitness. It was just this amazing. 07 to, even to now, but 07 to 2011 was such a transition in my life from how low I was to now having my own business.
Yeah.
And through all those years, changing myself physically from, I think when I started getting serious about lifting, I was 115 pounds. Again, I'm not the largest guy in the world, but to be 165 now, and as I showed you again photos before we started talking, the transition of my physique has been amazing.
It's impressive. Yeah, you got the cutoffs for the listeners, and there'll be pictures on our social medias on Facebook and Instagram. But you're jacked. I was like, look at this guy. And you own a gym, so I expect to be, in shape. But I was like, dude, this guy's ripped. So humble beginnings. You go down to your basement, it hits you like this is my calling. So that's kind of where BC Fitness started.
Yeah, like I said, it started as Bruce's personal training, but it made more sense when I went to start the bigger business. I'm about people. I'm about family. I wanted people to feel at home, feel like they were in their basement or their garage working out, not feel, because of the stories I was learning from people, talking to the community, talking to coworkers, people feel rejected in these big corporate places and these other gyms. They don't feel like they're welcome unless they're already in shape or they're in the clique or whatever. Again, all the things I went through, being tormented and being shrugged away when I tried to go to some gyms as I was working out before I bought my own stuff, being shrugged off because I wasn't like this huge guy.
Yeah.
Again, sorry, I'm not 6 foot and 200 pounds, but
Right.
whatever. I wanted to name it somehow to make it feel like it was a team and a family. And to me, making it Bruce's Fitness or something, putting my name on it was look at me, right?
Right.
And I didn't want that. While I want to lead by example and I want to be the face of my company,
Definitely.
I didn't want the gym to be about me. So the BC, so Bruce and Carrie, our oldest son's Blaine, our next son's Cole, our daughter's Calla, and our now 7-month-old is Bodie. We're all BC.
You're all BC. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. BC Fitness. That is like the definition of a family business.
Yeah.
It's everyone's, first initial.
Yeah.
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 So that's where the name came from. Because honestly, every time I pass your sign and you brought up a picture here and it says, the BC Fitness, I'm always like, what does that stand for?
Yeah.
What is BC?
Been asked a lot over the years. It's funny to hear some of the things people thought it was, which they were good. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, I'm not this corporate machine that people are so used to seeing and the names that they're used to.
So do you have an example or two of what people have thought it was?
People kind of get into they were trying to think of something more related to Christ, before Christ,
That's where my mind,
BC, and
before Christ, and
I forget some of the other, but that was the one that was said the most, and I was like, oh, I get it. That's cool, I get it, but no. It was, and then I tell them all our names, and they're like, oh, yeah, it's awesome.
It's perfect.
It made people feel again more welcome because they're like, oh, this truly is a family. He's about his kids, his wife.
Right.
And, if you look at our website, bcfitnessgym.com, you'll see pictures of, we got to update them now, with our newest edition, the 7-month-old, but, my family pictures are on there.
Yeah.
Because I want people to know that's what I'm about.
It's all about family. Yeah.
That's what drives me for all this stuff.
Right.
For one, to lead by example, two, to take care of them. Who am I to, being the man of the house? I want to be in the best shape I can be to take care of them in
Right.
every way, shape, or form.
You know, it sounds like the reason you started the gym, and this is just my take on it, but it was your calling, and you want to get away from the warehouse, the humdrum, 9 to 5 or whatever hours you're working. And, this was just like your calling.
Yeah. And then maybe I'll lead into another one of the topics we were thinking of here. I've learned a lot more about myself, and I continue to. I mean, again, you got to always have an open mind. You never know everything. You can always be better. It's my mindset in the gym. I have so many signs around the gym saying all these things. Nobody can do it for you but you.
Yeah.
My calling, yes, and in so many ways that I didn't see coming. And then looking back at my life and the things I've gone through, my trials and tribulations, it makes so much sense now why I'm where I'm at.
Right.
Let's go back to 2020 when all this nonsense started. I really started to learn more why I'm where I'm at and who I am. We didn't, well, I shouldn't say we didn't shut down, but the whole 2-week thing, it was like, no. But my wife, I get it. She was behind me, but she's like, it's 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks. Let's let it pass. And then,
yeah, that's what we all thought, right? It's just 2 weeks.
Yeah. So 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I told her, I said, I'm done. This is to get this loan. Like everything, our house is on the line. My life is on the line. I can't just walk away from this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I lose everything.
Right. You're all
and
in.
I'm not going down like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's not me. So we started putting together things, and I contacted buddies of mine that I've made over the years. And I said, look, I'm opening it. I'm putting signs up that say, look, this is what I'm doing. If you don't like it, you're free. Just like everybody else in this country, you are free to do what you want and go somewhere else.
Yeah.
You don't like what I'm doing, regardless of what I'm doing. If you do not like it, if you go to a restaurant and eat, you order a steak.
Yeah.
You didn't like how they cooked it. You go somewhere else.
Right. Yeah. If you're not comfortable,
Now,
you can go somewhere else.
I get it. If they made that steak bad and you got sick from it, yes, you could take other avenues. But
right.
point being, everybody has a different taste of food.
Mm-hmm.
People have different taste in color, different taste in cars. That's what makes us awesome and unique, that we all like different things. Again, if you don't like BC fitness, it's okay. I'll be all right.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't like what I'm doing? I'm okay. I believe in what I'm doing, and obviously it shows. I mean, we're, 12 years into business?
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
And I'm still going.
Yeah.
By myself.
Wow.
I've had trainers come in and out, and it's fine. It is what it is. It hasn't worked out yet to have other people, but I put signs up and said, don't make noise.
Mm-hmm.
Don't come in and rock the boat. You don't like what I'm doing? Shop somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah.
So a few of my buddies, I said, hey, come put your cars here. I'm opening the doors and we're doing this. I think it was the second day I had reopened. I see the state police pulling in the parking lot, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding. I wish I would have asked the guy's name just to give him some more kudos, but I told the guys, my buddies in the gym, I said, look, I'm going to go outside and deal with this. I don't want to make a scene in here, whatever.
Right.
So, but as fast as I'm getting to my front doors and walking out, he stopped at the front and puts his window down. He's like, hey man, no, do your thing. We're with you. I just wanted to let you know.
Whoa,
have at it.
That's awesome. Yeah.
That was the green light, man. And that was, I think BC was already on the map, but this just made us take off.
Yeah.
Because I did what I did. So I messaged my wife. I'm like, the cops just told me to do my thing. And I'm like, it's on.
Yeah.
I take the social media and I start posting, we're here. Let's do this. Again, you are free to do what you want. If you want to wear something, by all means, you do so, but whatever. And, it didn't take long. All of a sudden there's knocks at the door because people didn't know. They're living in this world where everybody else is shutting them out, telling them you can't do this. You can't come in here unless you've done X, Y, or Z.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not doing it. So they're knocking at the door and or walking in with a mask on. And it was so amazing to watch people come around the corner. If you've never been in the gym, but they come in the front door and they come around the corner to the main weight room and see all of us in the gym packed and nobody's wearing anything and nobody's not touching each other, staying away from each other, just acting normal.
Yeah.
And everybody's eyes are lit up like, oh, And I'd walk over, of course, to introduce myself.
Yeah.
And the first thing they'd do is they'd point, I don't have to do this. It's up to you.
Yeah.
And immediately take it off. And it was just boom, 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 boom. My page, it's nice to have the following, but it doesn't dictate how my business is doing. Because
for sure.
if I had the members of how many people followed my page at the time, I had 600 followers of the BC Facebook page. By the end of that summer in 2020, I was up to 1,500.
Wow. So double, and more than double.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
The parking lot was packed constantly.
Jeez.
I mean, I had people coming, I think it was 30 to 40 minutes away.
Really?
Like we had this big circle because everybody else had closed,
right,
or was making it a rule.
Yeah. How can you work out?
And when everybody learned
Yeah.
I wasn't, and I was about freedom and your choice, it was crazy.
Yeah.
And then everybody's coming to me. Well, then, then I start having rallies about all this stuff and having doctors to my place and having Doug Mastriano. Doug come to my gym. Well, actually, I went down to Harrisburg first to one of his rallies.
Okay.
And I went up the steps to introduce myself. And when he turned around and seen me, he's like, hey, how you doing? Like, he knew who I was. And I was like, oh. I start feeling like this. Like, I feel like a celebrity.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, he knows me. And he talks to me and thanks me for staying open and doing what I did. And I was like, no kidding.
Right.
All right. Well, then I have more rallies at my place. And I have him. He comes to my gym twice to support me.
Whoa.
And have rallies. It was just
surreal,
amazing
yeah,
what this did by doing what I did and made my stance and saying what I said to people that, hey, look, you do you. This is what I think. Your choice. And everybody just backed me, and it was nuts.
Yeah.
And still to this day, I mean, I still get people, and the people that were leaving other gyms just to support me because I made this stance. It was incredible.
You're getting a lot of attention, a lot of people coming because you're open. You had mentioned off air that, and it kind of blows my mind, but you got a letter from...
Yeah. I wish I would have brought it with so we could take a picture of it, but maybe I'll email it to you later. Yeah, our lovely governor, Mr. Wolf, sent me a letter threatening me jail time for not complying to the rules. And, like I told you off air, and I'll say it on air, I'm sitting here and I never served a day in jail. Yeah,
well, let me ask you this. Why? So your gym's open. You have all these members coming in, new members. You have some big names in government coming. Did anyone that you know of ever get sick at BC Fitness? Like because they were at your gym?
No, and nobody's talking about it. Again, I think it's all put in our head. I mean, that's what they were trying to do to everybody. Is get that in your head that, me sitting too close to you right now, Austin, I'm going to make you sick.
Right.
This isn't how it works.
Less than 6 feet. Yeah.
Beyond going in too far, like your biggest organism on your body is your skin, like your pore. Like, are we going to wear bodysuits to now prevent this from some people did. Obviously, we've seen the pictures out there. Like it's nuts. But this is the propaganda and the garbage of TV and the things that are out there.
Yes.
The buses driving around with masks up, do this and that. Like, no.
Yeah.
No. Again, your choice, whatever. But this is not, in my mind, this is not how it works.
Yeah. Well, whatever makes you comfortable.
This is not the reality. And again, leading by example, not only for my family, but to my gym members, anybody who sees me.
Mm-hmm.
I've had the gym 12 years now. Before that, I was in that warehouse for 12 years. Before the only time I called off work or whatever is if my kids weren't feeling well. My wife needed me, like something. I have not missed a day sick.
Wow.
Running this gym for 12 years. Who opens it? And I get some help occasionally to close, but who opens it every day for the last 12 years? I've woke up at 4 a.m. I'm going to go into my schedule here now, like you talked about my day.
Perfect.
I wake at 4 a.m. every day.
Yeah.
I'm in the gym by 5:15 because I have a client right away at 5:30 when we technically open. I have not missed a day. Wow. I've been in and out of houses of people who have been sick. Even before this, I've gone to people's houses who don't feel well. I've had clients out of training. I'm spotting them and touching them. Like they're breathing on me.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
2 days after the session, I don't see them. I stay in touch with everybody.
Yes.
Especially somebody that's in, like, I know they're serious and they're regularly, they don't show up. I'm like, hey, where are you at? You okay? oh man, I'm sorry. Like, I know we were working out the other day and I got the flu, whatever. They were sick as a dog.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm sorry. You know, if you get sick, I'm like, don't worry about me. I'll be all right. I appreciate you letting me know, but like, it's okay. It's
Yeah.
not like you did it on purpose.
Right.
Again, there's something we put in our head that we're intentionally making each other sick. It's just, it doesn't work this way. And guess who didn't get sick?
You didn't get sick. Wow.
I've been around it. Even through the past 3 years, I've been to people's houses. I was taking people's supplements I believed in, telling them what I would do.
Yeah.
The past year from, what was it? It was September last year. So it's September 21 through, what was it? January, February 22. All those months, every week, 1, 2, some weeks it was 4 families, people that maybe weren't even members, contacted me. Hey, we're not feeling great, but we don't want to go to the hospital and deal with all this stuff. What should we do? Well, I was helping people.
Well, if you go to the hospital, I mean, at least early on, it was, you know, especially once you got on the respirator and things like that, it was like death. You know what I mean? So why would you want to go to the hospital? And it seemed like there was nothing they could do, you know. And what really drove me nuts, and I shouldn't say drove me nuts, but made me curious, is the doctors, government, whoever, you know, you look up to or you get your news from, they didn't push like the healthy eating or fruits and vegetables or, you know, go get out and get some exercise. It was just kind of like stay at home,
take your pills, do this.
It's
like
watch your Netflix,
all the pharmaceutical garbage.
Yeah, and Walmart can stay open. These big chain stores can stay open, but you know, the small business have to close. And I understand at first, you know, maybe these decision makers didn't know how serious or how severe it is, but it just, I think it got a little out of hand, and hopefully these decision makers learned, no matter what side of the aisle they sit on, because if it were to happen again, you can't just shut down like that.
No, it's like anything. How do you get better at anything? I mean, you need exposure, right?
Yeah.
I mean, your body has an incredible God-given machine to build an immune system.
Mm-hmm.
Again, nobody wants to be sick. I don't want to not feel good, but
right.
I mean, be honest. Do I wake up some days and like don't feel the greatest? Yeah, but again, here's the mental part.
Yeah.
Do you, I'm getting sick, you know, and just let it get in your head that you're getting sick? Or it could be just, you're just tired because of how hard you're working.
Yeah.
You know, you're stressed from the kids the day before, whatever. You didn't eat the best the day before. It could be other reasons, like hydrate, eat good, take good vitamins, you know, work out, like eat good food. Like your food's your medicine. I mean, don't let it get in your head. And even if you have a little bit of a sniffle, it's okay.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Sometimes working out helps get rid of it, kicks it out of your system. Hydrating, flushing it, sometimes can help you feel better faster. You know, simple things.
So you kind of hit on, you know, your daily routine, get up early. At what time does the gym close then?
8 p.m.
Okay. That's a long day.
So, yeah. Said I've covered most of these hours on my own for the last 12 years. So you figure Monday through Friday, 5:30 a.m. to 8 p.m., Saturday, 6 to 3.
Wow.
Yeah. But it's worth it. You know, you got to do what you got to do. Like, I can't, unfortunately, especially now with where the economy is, the bite inflation, I can't afford to have help.
Right.
I can't afford it.
Yeah.
It's enough to pay the bills and the mortgage, the loan that I had to get to, you know, to build this place. It's enough. All the money coming in goes to pay this stuff. So I got to put in all these hours. Again, it's mine. Like eventually we'll have help, but I want to be the face of my company.
Oh, and that's what's nice. You're investing all this time and all this money in yourself, in BC Fitness. It's not like you're part of a warehouse or a large organization and just putting the time in, and they don't know who you are and they don't promote you like you've earned it. Sounds like, you know. It's always good when you can double down on yourself. Now, I want to talk more about the gym, but before we do that, because I want the listeners to know like location and what the equipment you have, but what are you passionate about? I know we spoke about family and things like that.
And I'll beat that into the ground. My family. I'm a family man, and that's what drives me. Again, to be an example for them. That's you know what keeps me going every day. I wake up is I'm gonna take care of them because I love them more than anything. Teaching them how to take care of themselves, stay strong. Again, I mean, what a time to go through right now in the world to teach them.
Yeah,
it's they're gonna learn a lot from. We all are. We're all learning a lot about a lot of things and how much garbage has really been out there and the lies to us.
Oh yeah, and you have to be mentally tough right now. I think it's huge.
And again, where I believe the gym, maybe more than anything, teaches you that. Because if your mind's not right, again, I'm not the biggest dude in the world, but no matter how big you are, you're gonna lay under a bar that's 300-400 pounds. Put a bar that's 300-400-500 pounds on your back. Put that much weight on the ground for a deadlift. Like if you're gonna pick this up, put this over you, your mind better be right.
Right. Oh yeah.
I'm 165 pounds.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have, again, 300-400 pounds on my back. It can crush me.
Right.
If I let it.
Yeah.
But that's where I say, no, I own you. I'm gonna stand up.
And the one quote you had kind of said in the form that you enjoy helping others more than yourself, and that really like resonated with me.
It's one thing to have your own results, and which mean a lot to me. Obviously, keeps you going. But especially again, like I've helped a lot of special needs. I have a client that has MS. I'm worked with somebody with cerebral palsy.
Yeah.
My son's autistic. I mean, he's more high functional. You should see. You want to see another physique transformation too.
Yeah.
You know, again, we could talk a lot about that, but he had some years like he was struggling, and I got him in the gym and working, and just see how he's transformed. My oldest son's getting into it now. It'd be awesome to watch his transformation. But to see others do things that they didn't think they could do, again, uplifting people, showing people they're better than, stronger than they think they are. It's been amazing. I mean, that's one of the best compliments and the things that promotes me is my clients. Small community. Lebanon County is people know people.
Right.
A lot of people that come and join BC tell me, hey, I know so-and-so. They told me how you've made them feel. I see, or they just see them posting things of what they're doing and they can't believe it. And it's like, again, into the age thing, getting people to do things that later in life. I'm stronger. I'm doing bigger things than I did when I started in my 20s.
Wow.
I'm 45.
Yeah.
Again, and that number's a number, whatever. Make your numbers. Make your life what you want it to be. 45 doesn't mean I got to slow down. If you choose to, so be it. I don't want to.
For all the listeners out there, let's talk about, the gym location, because some might not know, and then what kind of equipment do you have, and things like that.
Yeah, it's 2318 State Route 72, Jonestown, PA. We do have a sign down there. It's not real big and lit, but if you know where Off-Road Motorsports is, we're right near them, right across the street, depending on which direction you're coming from. But you can see their building right across the street. Yeah, we got a little bit of everything. I mean, I got dumbbells from 3 pounds up to 100 pounds. We got mats down in the area, so if you got to drop them, you have to. Like, if you're pushing to failure, we got a deadlift area. So we got free weights, we got machines, we got cable machines. We got a log we're in the strongman stuff too. So I got a log in there. I got a yoke to push and carry around. We got tires outside. We got a little bit of everything. I said, I dwell in everything. Back in March, right before we had our youngest son here, Bodie, I actually went and competed in my first strongman down in Lancaster.
What?
I finished last, but it's okay. Like I signed up. I have another guy in my gym, CJ Shaw. Can't wait to see him back in there. He's really into it, and he was going down to compete, and he wanted somebody to go with him. And so like 3 months out from this, I decided to sign up and go with him. Yeah. So he crash courses me on these events. It was crazy. It was a lot of fun. I'll do it again at some point in time when it's right. But, to do a log press, carrying a frame that was 570 pounds.
Holy cow.
We had to press, the log was 225 pounds that we had to try and press over our head. We had to pull a sled that was 600 pounds. Just a lot of big things. Some heavy weight. Yeah, and serious stuff, but more like normal life stuff. Like you just run into big objects. It's not like the gym, a controlled bar, like on a track. Like a fixed thing. Mm-hmm. These are odd, big objects that's just real life to have to move sometimes, and to man up, woman up, and move these things. Wow, like it's a lot of fun. So I got some of these items in the gym, and so that way people from all the different atmospheres can train. And
at BC Fitness, you guys aren't like a Planet Fitness, right? There's not like lines of treadmills and people just watching TVs. Yeah.
There will never be a TV in my gym. Okay. Other than, I lie. I had one we did have a kids room for a little bit, but it wasn't getting used. And I had put a TV in there so they could watch some cartoons or whatever. Yeah. But no, there will never be TVs at my treadmill.
Nice. Yes.
Like I've told people, it's a mindset. Like, It's one thing to listen to music, a playlist that motivates you. That's
Oh, yeah.
inspiring to your workout.
Yeah.
But to watch TV, whether it's a good show or not, like it's triggering your emotions. It's taking your mind away from the workout. Like if your mind, I don't care who you are, if your mind is not engaged and believing in what you're doing, you're not going to see results. You can walk for an hour on that treadmill. If you're watching a show and you're upset, emotional, crying, like it could be the Weather Channel.
Yeah.
You're not happy about the weather coming.
It's all mindset.
Your stress hormones are kicking in and you're not going to see the results you want.
Right, or you're distracted, and you're not going, there's no incline and the speeds.
Yep. Your mind's on other things.
Yeah, going through the motions like.
Yep.
Awesome. So now, how can our listeners connect with you and follow along on your journey?
Well, like I said earlier, bcfitnessgym.com. We do have a website. Unfortunately, with Facebook, I mean, I take it as a badge of honor now.
Yeah.
My original BC page that was 1,500 followers was disabled from my services. You can still see it.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot activate it anymore to control my footage and film and all that stuff. So I have made new pages, but we're also on Instagram, BC Fitness Gym PA. You can find me there. But the best thing you can do, stop in and see me in person. While the social media stuff is great, it does help a little bit. I'm a believer in person, just like having some people hire these virtual trainers or whatever. To me, there's nothing like in person. You're not going to get that emotional feel, in-person connection, right?
Yeah.
Like we're doing now.
Oh, yeah.
This interview, it's awesome to sit here and do it with you instead of doing it over the phone. We're sitting here
Right.
looking at you.
Right.
You can feel my passion looking at me, right? I want to do that through, the training in the gym. And there's a training tool of touch too, again, to get somebody's mind, to teach them the mental part, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some people don't know how to activate their lats, their back. So all I gotta do is touch you in the middle of your back. And also, like you're paying attention there. But I want you to learn how to do that and feel that part connect there when I'm not there.
Okay.
Right?
No, that makes sense.
I want to teach people how to stand on their own 2 feet because I'm not always going to be by your side. So that's a big part of my training. I'm trying to teach people how to do it on their own. I love being there. I always want to do the training because I get it. It's like having the right workout partner. It's different when you have the right person with you.
Yeah.
You can go to a different level.
Oh, I believe
you just feed off each other's energy.
Oh, for sure. And it's huge being in person because, like you said, it's not the same virtually, over the phone or over the screen, but to be there, especially if you're going for your personal best or your PR and you're bench pressing it and everyone's getting excited around you. You got your whoever's spotting you. Yeah,
which is another great point you're leading into here. So it is December 10th. I'm having what I call my BC Max Out event.
Okay.
I try to quarterly have like a powerlifting meet of my own. It's not sanctioned by any stretch. It's just for fun for whoever, but to push each other. So we do a squat, bench, deadlift, max out. I have the results hung. I put it on the one wall in there so everybody can see like the past events, like what people have done. But even for yourself to motivate you so you can see what you did before in another year, another time, and pushes you to you want to beat and again compete with yourself.
Exactly. Oh yeah, it's you versus you.
I try to do them quarterly.
Yeah.
We didn't have one in September. Everybody was kind of in a different mindset at the point in time, so I didn't have one. But we usually have it March, June, September, December. So 3, 6, 9, 12.
Oh, perfect.
We usually do it quarterly.
Yeah.
I try and have them as long as I feel like there's a good vibe I'm pushing. So I'm hoping this one's going to be our biggest one we've ever had. We'll see. I mean, I've got some members now that people travel through the area for jobs. So some people have gotten a membership because it's easier for them to stop in on their way through because it's right after work versus if they drive the hour home and then,
they won't come back.
Yeah, which has turned out to be interesting because some of them they're in a relationship with somebody that maybe owns a gym somewhere where they live or they know other gyms. So they've taken papers with them to these other gyms. And I have like 2 other gyms right now about an hour away that there's people interested in coming for this event.
Cool.
So again, it's a lot of fun. Like, and I always tell people, come out and watch. It's a lot of fun. We've gotten more people into, even for ladies. Ladies tend to shy from lifting and guys shy from the cardio, right?
Right. Yep.
But through all this stuff and through the gym, I've gotten more women lifting now and even guys like that were kind of like, I don't need to max out, but they come and watch or they're there because I still leave the gym open for regular people, regular members to come in while we're doing this.
Yeah.
Unless maybe one day it'll be so big I'm going to have to close the gym to that. But But by doing that, there's been people there and watching it, and it got them hooked.
Yeah.
Because they're like, wow, this is cool.
Motivates them, right?
Yeah,
Right.
want to see the teamwork and everybody yelling for each other and that
Yes.
camaraderie. And
Oh yeah.
again, first and foremost, compete with yourself. And I get it. I'm a competitor. I want to win. But like first and foremost, you got to compete with yourself. Have fun with it.
Yeah.
Can you improve you? As I told my sons, my 2 older sons are phenomenal golfers. They've been the number 1 golfer on the school team.
Oh wow.
When in their time. But you could go have your best day, shoot your best round. You could lift the most weight you ever lifted. And so does somebody else, and they still beat you. So are you now sad and upset that you lost?
Yeah.
But did you lose? I mean, you just had your best lift
Right.
ever. You didn't lose.
Definitely.
I won a lot of races, but I also didn't win a lot of races. And then some of those races, I ran the best time I ever ran, and I lost.
Yeah.
But I didn't lose.
You're right, because it was your best.
Yeah.
And you're competing against
I
yourself.
said I have a ton of trophies,
Yeah.
from a lot of races, but
Oh, I bet.
I have a lot.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of races. Same as, pick an easy example everybody will know is like Tiger Woods.
Mhm.
While he won the most ever, he also lost a lot. I mean, you have to. I mean, you go and people just, you don't see him because they missed the cut. So you don't see him, or maybe he didn't play in the tournament. But, these guys played so much.
Yeah.
Any elite athlete, like teams that win the World Series or the Super Bowl or whatever, sometimes didn't have a lot of wins, but they got hot at the right time.
Yeah. Oh, it's like you don't see that work, that preparation,
Yeah.
the loss, because people only talk about, right, those championships or those big wins, but each time maybe you didn't succeed, you might have bettered yourself or improved yourself, and that's how you eventually get to that championship or that next level. Before we close out, is there anything else that you'd like the listeners to know?
It's up to you. I can't say this enough. This is what the gym is about. You got to be you and be the best you. I'm here to help you learn and find ways, but even training client to client, I'm figuring you out. Like if Austin came into the gym, I'm going to figure out, I got to figure out Austin, figure out what works for him, what gets in his head. Don't worry about others. Live your life. Again, to all this, again, it's your choice, but we got to open our eyes to this worldly stuff and the lies that have been fed to us, because it's led to, again, the passion of my business. I think a lot of people are struggling with their health because of stuff that's gone on from corporations and just the world in general, to cell phones being invented and putting screens in your face all the time, everything to slow you down, keep you at home, stay at home, sit down, like depend on all these other things instead of depending on yourself. You're strong enough yourself. There's a lot of things you can do. Again, I want people in my life, but what can you do without them? Because they're not always going to be by your side. What can you do on your own? I love my wife to death, and I want her in my life for a long time and by my side. And she is. I mean, even though she's not in the gym, like there, because, it's divide and conquer. We know we're with each other all the time in our heart. Like, and we message each other through the day. I send her pictures, like, cause we rotate the kids, who has them. So the little ones spend a lot of time with me actually in the gym. So, I'll send her pictures like my daughter's 3.5.
Okay.
So there's times like she's wanted to like work out, so I give her a dumbbell or whatever. And so of course I'm taking pictures of her and I send it to my wife so she knows, or she sends me pictures from home, like whatever.
Yeah.
We don't see each other a lot because it's just where our life is right now.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I know it's not for everybody, but we're doing what we got to do. We know it's a sacrifice right now to get the business, keep it going.
Right.
But be you. You are stronger than you think you are, and we'll help you learn that. But your reference of Planet Fitness, I do like pizza, but I will never have it sitting on the counter for all you can eat.
Yeah.
I will teach you when and how much, but I'm never going to serve you pizza.
Isn't that awful? Yeah, that's right. They have pizza day, and then I think they even do
there's
like
the second day,
breakfast.
there's bagels and Tootsie Rolls and Smarties and like...
It's like, what's up with that?
No.
They tease you.
Again, it's their motto. Kudos to them for making it work, I guess.
Yeah.
But it will never happen at BC Fitness. I mean, like, people have said it because they see me eating pizza in the office, because I don't close my office windows off. Like, everybody sees me.
Yeah.
I'm front. And when I'm eating pizza, they're like, "Hey, is this Planet Fitness?" I'm like, "Really? You're gonna go there? All right, your rates just went up."
Yeah, Bruce, this has been awesome. Bruce Weaver Jr. and the American Grown Podcast and the Colortech Creative Solutions Studios. Thank you for joining me.
I appreciate you having me, Austin.
Awesome. Thank you, man. You did great.
Thanks.
To see photos of today's guests and more content, just search American Grown Podcast on Facebook and Instagram. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and leave a review.
If you'd like to be a featured guest on the podcast, please direct message or email Austin at americangrownpod@gmail.com.